Hello, my name is Miriam Weiskind of the ZA Report. I am here today in the Ooni test kitchen in Austin, Texas, making some Sicilian pizza dough. So one of the most important things to do when making pizza dough at home is to measure out every single ingredient before you start. Our dough is pretty simple, has flour, salt, yeast, water, and extra virgin olive oil. Your yeast is going to be the first thing that goes into your flour. After your flour is going to go your water, and then we're going to let the dough relax a little bit, and then your salt and your extra virgin olive oil go in after that. So we just put our flour in, and the type of flour I'm using, by the way, is a bread flour. Bread flour is going to be higher protein. It's going to be better for Sicilian pizza. What you're going to do is you're going to incorporate that instant yeast into there. So once that's incorporated in, you're going to take your water, which is pre-measured, you're going to pour it in like a moat. Okay? Then you're going to take that handy dandy spoon and you're going to slowly incorporate the flour. So now that I've kind of mixed this somewhat, I'm going to just go ahead and start using my hand. All right? And what you're going to do is you're going to work to incorporate all the flour, the yeast, and the water. And we just want it to be shaggy. It doesn't need to be a smooth ball yet because we're going to do an auto lease. And what that is in layman's terms, we're going to let the dough take a little bit of a nap until later, and then what we'll do is we'll salt it and we'll add the oil. So final step is I'm going to put a towel over this, and we're going to let that sit for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. See you in a few. Guys, our 15 minutes are up. We are now ready to take a look at our dough. Check it out. This is exactly how our dough should look. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this salt and we're gonna go ahead and shake it over the dough a little bit. Once you've added the salt, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hand and you're just gonna begin to incorporate that salt in. What we're doing is we're pushing it in. And why do I put salt before oil? Well, if I put the oil first and then the salt, it's gonna have a lot harder of a time incorporating. And now my next step is I'm gonna pick up the dough and I'm basically going to fold it in. Once the salt has begun to incorporate, what you'll notice is you don't feel the granules as much. That means we're ready to go ahead and put our oil in. So now I'm gonna just put the oil in. Again, this is extra virgin olive oil. You don't wanna use a salad dressing olive oil. You wanna use an extra virgin olive oil that's meant for pizza making, cooking. Now what I'm doing, similar to what we were doing before, is I'm folding it over and pushing it down. So here is one of the absolute best tips and tricks for home pizza makers when you're trying to incorporate that oil and it still feels slippery. Take a little bit of your flour, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna help that oil absorb into your dough a lot faster and a lot better. But we want this ball to be super smooth. Our oil and our salt is all incorporated. Now it's time for another little nap. So you're gonna put this on the counter, a little bit of bench flour, and we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes while it takes a nap / auto lease / siesta. So while that's resting, you're going to take your pans. A really great tip is you take a little bit of olive oil, you squirt that in the pan, and this is what our brush is for. So you're just gonna brush it in like this. We're gonna let this proof in the pan, it's gonna expand, and you wanna oil all the sides of your pan so that the dough isn't going to stick to it. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna re-ball it and let it proof again, because we're doing a double proof. Why? Because we want an insane crumb structure. We are trying to get our dough to a window pane place. So what we're gonna do is we're going to do a knead on the table. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip that over, and I'm gonna fold it and push out, fold, push. Trust me when I say this, that patience is everything with good pizza. If you try to rush it, the pizza you bake at the end of the day is not gonna be that good. All right, and we're gonna let this rest for a few more minutes, and we're gonna go right back to the dough. All right, final, last knead. Let's do this. A little sprinkle, a little flour power, and again, we're gonna do the same exact thing we were just doing. So once you feel that's gotten to a good place, I'm gonna use that bench scraper again to really get a taut cover, all right? So you know it's ready to go when you have your window pane test and it passes. And what that basically means is that the gluten is strong enough that it's holding together and you're able to pull it and it doesn't rip, okay? We're gonna round out this dough ball, and we're gonna take this guy, I'm gonna put him in our oiled pan, like so. But what we're doing is we're putting oil on this because I'm gonna put a little bit of plastic wrap to completely cover this, and I'm gonna tuck this away in a warm place, and what's gonna happen in a few hours time, these dough balls are gonna expand all the way out, and I'm gonna reball them and put them back in, cover them, and leave them until tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna dimple them out and they'll be ready to make pizza with.